Right, so I knock on strangers' houses and I write poems for them, mainly to try and justify my own ridiculous career choice, but I also want to kind of prove to people that anyone can enjoy poetry.
It must get such a strange reaction when you knock on someone's door and you explain what you are there to do. Are people quite suspicious at first?
Sometimes, yeah. I think it depends on the person, but yeah, people find it really hard to get their head around the fact that I don't want any money as well, which I just love, to be honest. Like, I think it's great when they sort of say, you know, what do you want? I don't want to give you any money. And you say, I just want to write a poem, and they'll say, so how much are you going to charge for that? Nothing, you know. And I love confusing people with that. And once they realise that you just want to write them a poem, it's a really nice thing, you know. You sort of, once you break through that initial apprehension, I think you can form a really good kind of working relationship with people, really.
Because you don't get something for nothing in this world. That's what's different about it.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's what I'm trying to disprove. I think you do get something for nothing. You at least get a poem from Rowan McCabe in this world.
So we're going to go, as we say, to a couple of houses you've visited before, you've talked to these people. When you get there, are you going to perform the poem for them, or do you give it to them and let them read it and take it in themselves?
I'll perform it, yeah, and then give them a written copy as well, so they can take it away and read it at their own leisure.
Something special for them to have a poem written especially for them.
I think definitely, and I like the fact that it just proves, hopefully, that if they think they don't enjoy poetry, like Alan, who we're going to knock on first, he enjoyed my introductory poem, but he said, poetry's not really for me. But if I can write him a poem about something he's passionate about, he can't not enjoy poetry, you know? At least he's got that one poem in his hand. The more I do this, the more I think that everybody loves poetry. They just don't know it yet, you know? I think it's secretly everyone's favourite thing.
Should we go and knock on some doors then?
Right, okay, yeah.
I'm thinking about my doorbell, when you're gonna ring it, when you're gonna ring it. Yeah, I'm thinking about my doorbell, when you're gonna ring it, when you're gonna ring it.
Is this the right one? Is this the door? Hopefully Alan will be in and will invite us in because it's wet and cold.
Hello, you alright?
Hello, I'm Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Nice to see you, Alan. Should I take my shoes off here? I don't want to get... No, not at all. Tessie is a little sausage dog.
When I told my partner, I told my family, they said, "You let a complete stranger in your house." I said, "I've often let strangers in the house." Okay.
Thank you so much for inviting us into your house, and thank you for the cup of tea that you've made us. That's lovely. What was your first thought when Rowan knocked on your door?
Well, I thought he was a door-to-door salesman. I thought it was a charity. First thing I said to him, "What are you selling?" And he said, "I'm not selling anything. Can you spare me 10 minutes or 5 minutes?" And I think it was an hour and a half later before when he left. And I'm not into poetry in any shape or form. I used to have to read poetry at school with Abby Burns, but I didn't particularly enjoy reading it. It doesn't do anything for me. So it's so easy to talk to, though. I just found myself telling them my life history. Well, they asked about my background, where I was born, where I was brought up. So obviously my accent tells you I wasn't born in Newcastle. So I was born in Germany, and we moved over to Edinburgh when I was quite young. And I was explaining that my mum was perceived to be a Nazi, even although she wasn't even a German citizen. She wasn't pure enough. And, you know, at one stage we had swastikas painted on our door. People used to spit at us in the street. And then I left Scotland and I moved to Nottingham. And within weeks of being there, I had to pacify my younger daughter, who was only a baby, a child taught at the time, because her friends wouldn't play with her because she had a black doll. We moved house because the final straw was somebody painted "Go Home Haggis" on the garage door. And then I came to the northeast, and I came out as a gay man, and I've experienced hostility because of that. And it's just one of my things. And once I get talking about it, I don't shut up because I hate that injustice.
Just came up flooding out with Rowan. And...
Yeah, Rowan keeps shaking his head, and I just go on and on and on. And then he said, "Well, I'm going to make a poem out of this." And I thought, well, I don't know how you're going to do that. So I'm quite nervous about it, actually.
With all that material, Rowan, does that make it easier or does that make it harder to write a poem?
I think it's a particular thing you need to do. I think I needed to go through Alan's life and try and find the message. And there was actually a few different messages, I think, when we spoke, like different things that you could have wrote a poem about. When you said you feel compelled to speak out in public when you hear people being racist.
Yes.
And I thought, that it just really seemed to sum up your beliefs.
Definitely.
So I wrote a poem about that. So I called it Speak, And yeah, I think it's fairly self-explanatory. It's just come from what you told me you believe in. It starts in dark pub corners, in stomachs full of spite. It ends in concentration camps, the rule of the far right. Brexit's voice is broken, and it's the best excuse for every closet racist to air their dirty views. The water's getting choppy. The time's come to be brave, to swim against this ocean, to push against this wave, from nasty taxi drivers, joking on their own, to fascist balaclavas on streets with megaphones. Logic is the answer to the politics of fear, but I'll admit I've walked away, pretending I can't hear, because I'm on my own today. Because I don't know what to say, because I'm going to miss the bus, because my nose might end up bust. 100 passers-by, a new excuse in every head, and all this silence used as proof for everything they've said. The voice is getting louder. It won't just go away. Next time I'm going to be the first to question what they say, to speak, but without screaming, be reasoning and calm. To speak but not to fight back, though they may cause us harm. To speak but not degrade myself and sink down to their depths. To speak and show the whole world why it's them who is the threat. To speak against their prejudice, to speak against their hate, to speak and make it clear before it gets too late.
Goosebumps. I've got shivers going down my spine. That is so powerful. That is incredible. I just can't understand how you can write something as powerful and beautiful as well. But it's so strong, and it really, I think it definitely summed up what my core beliefs are, is to challenge injustice. And
I'm really pleased.
definitely,
so pleased.
I just hope that when I'm reading it to my family that I can put as much emphasis in it as you have. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful.
Oh, cheers, Alan. Thanks.
And it's so special, isn't it, that Rowan performed it for you
Yes.
there. You saw that poem come from the poet himself. I mean, that is something special, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Are you pleased with that reaction then?
I am. I'm really pleased. Definitely. I'm just really, really pleased you like it. And yeah, like I say, what you believed in just spoke to us so strongly, and it came through really, really clear. And I was really hoping I'd done it justice, and it kind of did, in some ways, sum up what you believe in. And to have you say that, and that just, I'm speechless. It just really makes us really, really pleased.
Shivering.
Yeah.
I am absolutely shivering.